Let's start off our day with something wonderful or hear a story about someone being marvelous. Let's make today Wonderless. This is the podcast that gives you a daily dose of uplifting, feel-good stories from around the world. This is Wonderless News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. So our first story of the day is psychedelics for mental health. That's right. So Australia has just become the first country to make psychedelics legally or medically legal to treat PTSD and also depression. So these psychedelics, it's not just mushrooms, it's also MDMA. So what they're recommending is that MDMA, which is, for some of us known as ecstasy or Molly, and psilocybin, which is known for, being in mushrooms. So these the MDMA will be treated for the, I believe it's for PTSD. Yep. And then for depression, they're recommending mushrooms. And the reason why this is a Wonderless News story is because, well, one, psychedelics are supposed to be pretty happy. Two, I think it's a feel-good story because we're looking, and Australia is now the first country to make that legal, is we're looking at how psychedelics can help someone get over depression or deal with depression or help them treat PTSD, which is not just for, our veterans in combat and police force, but it's for men and women that have been in serious issues where post-traumatic stress disorder can become, part of their daily battles. So really interesting that this is now going to be legal in Australia. And for me, I'll be honest, I've tried mushrooms, I've tried ecstasy. As far as a social participant in that for, extracurricular social party activities, whatever you want to call it, way back in college, interesting. This is about what they call microdosing. So this is using small amounts of MDMA or small amounts, in this case, of mushrooms and those components for psychedelics, but in small doses, microdoses. They believe that, and they've seen this proven, which is why it's in Australia now legal, that it can really help. So again, you're not getting necessarily high, but your body, your brain is reacting to it, and you're able to really, start to help open up the ability to deal with some of those issues with depression and PTSD. And look, if Australia's doing it, the country from down under, we got to definitely look at that here in the United States, which I know we are. There's a lot of movement in with mushrooms and psychedelics as well. Microdosing, like I mentioned, is becoming more and more popular. And they're doing more research, which is what really this is going to happen for Australia. Is they're going to do more research, and they're going to look at how it can help and what levels and what regimen will work the best. So you go, Australia. A little fact before we jump to the next segment: 1 in 5 of people with PTSD or depression react effectively to current medications. So think about that again. 1 in 5, only 1 in 5 patients, individuals react well to the medications that are currently out there. Really good reason for Australia to say, let's look at these and see what we can bring, if we can bring that number up with a new medication or new opportunities and opportunities is fine. All right, next news segment. So a doggy bus in Australia. I love this one. They take these dogs out on these daily adventures. So this dog walking company, Mo Mountain Mutts, is a dog walking service up in Australia. And the owner, this wife, and also her husband, they decided that what they were going to do was get this bus and retrofit it a little bit to have the dogs harnessed in. And the dogs could essentially be picked up by Mo Mountain Mutts, and they pick them up at their owner's house. They click them onto to a harness just so they're in the seat, and so they're protected. And the video is really cool to watch in the pictures. And then they take them to this outdoor adventure, up in Alaska. So of course in the winter it's snowing, but it's hilarious. They have a blast. So this dog service does this a couple times a day. They fit around, it looks like 20 or so dogs in there at every time they do. And they said they pick them up every day, a couple times a day, different groups, and they take them to these little outdoor adventures where they can go off leash and run around and have a blast. My parents have a dog sitting company or a dog business or a pet sitting service business, if you will. And they take the dogs to the dog park. They had a whole thing outside in their backyard that was set up with fence and little areas for the dogs to run around and to relax. And I think it's important, if you're not a dog owner, it's really important to understand that dog owners and their pets need to have the ability to get out and stretch and enjoy themselves. And I think what they're doing with Mo Mountain Mutts is incredible. So hats off to them. And my little dog, Buster, would love it. Of course, he wouldn't be able to compete with the snow. He gets a little too cold. He shivers when it's cold in Southern California. So, he wouldn't make it up there. But great idea. Retrofitting a bus. You can carry 20 dogs in there. You go, guys. I love that story. That makes me smile. Okay, so next we have our Wonderlous Moment of the Day. Now, as always, our Wonderless Moment of the Day is brought to you currently by our sponsor, Rise by Shaman Angelina. She has her Etsy store and some incredible jewelry that you can see up there. She also has a website. All that information is included in the content. If you're on Spotify, you can click down on the link and you can see the link there. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, which is Wonderless News, there's also a link there as well. So you can get right to her store, check out her products. She's got fantastic stuff. And as always, the Wonderless Moment of the Day, this is going to feature a waterfall. So, something relaxing, something to let's take a minute, let's take a little 20 seconds or so, and let's listen to the waterfall. And if you've got video, you can watch the waterfall as well. Here we go. I love water. So for me, listening to the waterfall and having that sound and seeing it as well, I love it. Rain, waterfalls, oceans, lakes. It's my thing. I was a swimmer for a long time, and I think that's why I just would rather be in the water than be on land, and proven my sports ability outside the water was never that good. So, fish out of water is what they'd say. But thank you. Rise by Shaman Angelina. It was fantastic. We love that little Wonderless Moment of the Day. So let's get on to the next news segment. So at Every Sundae, which is a ice cream shop, at Every Sundae, everyone who walks in gets ice cream, whether they have money or not. This probably should have been the first story because it's so cool, but I love this. So Charles Foreman, he's the owner of Everyday Sundae, which is in Washington, D.C. And in his community, he realized that some of the kids that would come in, they didn't have enough money for ice cream, or they couldn't get ice cream, but they'd walk by, they'd look in the window. He decided that he wanted to help out. He's like, I can give some ice cream for free, right? So, he gave a scoop to one of the kids, and one of the patrons that was buying ice cream saw that. And she said, you know what? I like that you're doing that. Here's some money. I want you to buy the next couple kids ice cream. I said, okay, no problem. Next couple kids came in. Hey, this lady before you, she wanted the next couple, customers to get free ice cream. So the ice cream's on her and it's free. And this started this snowball effect where really in many ways it was paying it forward. And I love this. I've seen this in some commercials. And I always thought this was really cool where, someone opens the door for you. So then all of a sudden, it's your turn and you let someone get in line before you because they have one item at the store instead of five, or paying it forward, right? Like someone did something nice for me. I would like to do something nice for the next person that I come across or meet. So this is what happened at Everyday Sundae. Is now it's this thing where these customers come in, they'll buy some ice cream, and then they will put some extra money to the owner, to the to one of the workers, and then they'll buy ice cream for the next, group of kids or whatnot. In fact, a cop walked in. One of the parts of the story was a police officer walked in, got some ice cream, and said, "Hey, like I said, next two kids or next two people that come in, they get free ice cream." And sure enough, this mom walks in with her son, and I think it was her son's friend. And guess what? The ice cream's on the house. This police officer bought this ice cream for you. So really cool. That is absolutely a positive feel-good story in my book. And great stuff going on there at Everyday Sundae. Not for the free ice cream, but I would love to actually taste the ice cream at Everyday Sundae. I'll have to trek out to DC to see what Charles Foreman is doing and how things are going with the shop. But thank you for that segment. I love that one. And, this brings me to the next segment or part of the show, which is, it's been recently me talking about a Wonderlous story of my own, or it could be, in this case today, or would be something from you. So if you do have time, please let us know what a Wonderless story is and submit it to us. And the email's down there, so you can send it to my wonderlessnews@gmail.com. But I'm going to just kind of go off of what we just talked about. So here's my reality is, if you will, is that paying it forward with Everyday Sundae is great, but paying it forward in life, I think, is really important. I can't speak for everybody, but I know that when I do something really nice for someone, and it's as simple as opening a door, letting someone go before me, holding the elevator, if a man or a woman drops something on the street, picking it up for them and giving it to them, these little things seem to add up for me. And maybe some of you are, this is resonating with you, is that it does for you as well. I really enjoy doing things like that for other people. It makes my day better. So I think that it's important that if we all try to make an effort to pay it forward and do something nice for someone, it really does make a difference. And I think it makes a difference for you as well as for them. And seeing that snowball into them doing something nice, and then the person that they did something nice for does something nice to the next person, and you see that carries over and it pays forward. That is something that we should all try to do. So maybe today, after you've heard the show, or maybe the next day or the next week, you think about that and you do let someone go before you at the grocery store because you have two items and they have a cart, or sorry, reverse. You have a cart and they have two items. The point is that try it out. It works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. So, look, if you have a positive, feel-good story that you would like to share with us, please do so. Send me an email. The email address is there on the screen. Include details, pictures, video. Put your name on it or don't. It's up to you. But let me know one of those Wonderless feel-good stories that you've experienced, and so I can talk about it here on the show. Again, thanks for watching and listening. I'm Hoyt Christopher. This is Wonderless News, and I'll see you tomorrow.